Hey traders, welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth for another daily market recap. Today is Thursday, November 19th, and in today's video we're going to discuss whether or not we'll see a daily bounce. And we negated the bull flags, but we set hourly trend changes. So it looks like the daily bounce is underway on SPY, but we're going to need to break the high of today first thing tomorrow to confirm that. We did have hourly uptrends confirm on SPY and QQQ, so the tech sector and the S&P 500, which is a good sign, but we also want to see us break the high first thing of today, first thing tomorrow. So before we jump into it, make sure to smash the like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this market perspective. I got a lot of news articles that I want to run through today, as there seem to be just never-ending notable news headlines. So I'll run through these as quickly as possible, but we see that Chuck Schumer says Mitch McConnell has agreed to resume negotiations over stimulus, so that's positive, but it would most likely be a skinnier bill, in my opinion, versus a larger bill that we saw the Democrats wanting to pass earlier. The Trump administration and campaign drops Michigan election lawsuit, Rudy Giuliani says. So Rudy Giuliani, the ex-New York mayor, is now Trump's lawyer and buddy, I guess you could say. But President Donald Trump's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, said the campaign is dropping on election-related lawsuit in Michigan. The move represents the latest development in the campaign's multi-state effort to challenge President-elect Joe Biden's electoral victory. A lawyer for the Trump campaign said the lawsuit was being withdrawn because the county's board of canvassers met and declined to certify the results of the presidential election, but the board did vote to certify the results after an outcry over Republican members who initially voted not to do so. But seems to be another point in favor of Biden. Chamber of Commerce CEO Tom Donahue urges Trump not to delay transition to Biden a moment longer. So we're seeing more professional, people of power and of high stature basically reaching out, telling him to concede. And Biden says Trump's transition delay will put the government behind with a potential cure for the global situation that we have at hand. So Dr. Fauci also said that people who disregard it as fake news could be a real problem. So this is something that I've been talking about for a while now in my videos, is saying, well, if we do come out with a cure and they do have shots available for the masses, how many people are going to actually want to take it? And then what kind of civil unrest or just chaos is that going to create amongst regular citizens and ordinary people? And I don't think we really fully know yet. So White House advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci said that convincing people who consider it to be fake news and to get a shot against the disease could become an issue. Fauci said in a published interview with the New York Times that he was stunned people in certain parts of the country with devastating outbreaks still consider it to be fake. Despite 250,000 deaths, despite 11 million infections, despite 150,000 new infections a day, they don't believe it's real. This is a real problem. So again, how's this going to translate in the work environment and the travel industry, that type of thing? So it's going to be real interesting to see how this gets carried out, because it's going to help them break that herd immunity. So you can see right here, where did he say? Comments the close said stunned that people said they still think it's fake. So yeah, essentially, can't find it now, but essentially they just mentioned that it's going to help them. It's going to go against them in the herd immunity, trying to get this under control. We saw Trump blocking Biden team from accessing the data as well, and it's been labeled as criminal. Ex-HHS secretary made a statement saying that. We also saw global stocks slid for the third day on new restrictions. So we saw New York put a limit on schools, so shutting down schools. But declines were steeper in Europe, and cyclical shares taking the brunt of the retreat. Norwegian air shuttle plunged 16% after seeking protection from creditors. Germany's ThyssenKrupp AG tumbled saying it would slash 11,000 jobs. Nvidia Corp dropped in US pre-market trading after warning that data center chip sales would decline slightly. So that was notable. Attack of the debt tsunami. So global debt now at a record high. I found this really interesting. The IIF said global debt would break new records in the coming months to reach 277 trillion by the end of the year. Global debt, 277 trillion. Listen to this. Among advanced nations, debt surged above 432% of GDP in the third quarter, a 50% increase from 2019. That's insane. And this is potential of seeing multiple bankruptcies at a large scale. We could see potential banks that nobody ever thought would fail go under. And it's going to be an interesting, it could get it into a very big problem and a solvency problem here in the next couple of years. In emerging markets, debt levels rose to over 248% of GDP, with Lebanon, China, Malaysia, and Turkey experiencing the biggest rises in non-financial sector debt. Absolutely insane. So 12 million Americans set to lose unemployment benefits by the end of the year. So this could be extremely, extremely bad. Obviously, it's going to hit consumer spending, but that could be offset if they decide to pass a skinny stimulus bill or some form of stimulus. But that's going to keep inflation high, and we're going to see hard assets like gold and crypto continue to just blast higher. So we'll see. There's already talks now floating around again about more stimulus. So it's possible that that could come in the next week or before the end of the year. 742,000 initial jobless claims came in the US last week, compared to 707,000 that they were expecting. So slight miss there, not really surprising with summer coming to an end. So seasonal jobs and also rise in cases having an impact on that as well. Also saw that 1 in 7 companies have little to no confidence they'll survive the next 3 months, new UK survey finds. So people, small businesses definitely feeling the heat. And UK and Canada on the brink of a trade agreement replacing the EU deal. So this is obviously off the back of the Brexit deal that they hope to go through. And Tesla surged to an all-time high today after getting a price upgrade from Morgan Stanley and joining the S&P 500, which is set to begin on December 21st. We also saw BuzzFeed to buy HuffPost from Verizon in latest new media deal. So I was thinking about the global debt, and I saw this and all these M&A activity, and I'm wondering if Verizon may be potentially in need of money. And I was starting to think about AT&T, all the debt that they have, and this just comes at a weird time because, like I said, when solvency and debt is at an all-time high right now, we're seeing Verizon sell a branch of their business, and I'm wondering if that could be related to them needing money. Maybe they're in financial distress, we'll see, but these are things that I think we need to keep an eye out for, because even with a potential cure, and if everybody, let's say in theory, everybody was to get a shot, there's going to be months and years worth of damage here in the economy that we're going to have to rebuild, and thousands and hundreds of thousands of businesses that have closed and may never reopen. And it's not about, staying on a dark path. It's the ramifications of printing endless amounts of money and just the ramifications of the economy after such an event, right? So then that led to my next, I want to do a video on this shortly. So I want to do a video on why I think the cannabis sector is going to really help the US economy and the Canadian economy even more than it already is, especially after what we've gone through in 2020. And I'll get that out probably in the next couple of weeks, but essentially there's an article here from Bloomberg, can marijuana help Biden heal a divided nation? And after 5 states decided to pass ballot measures and basically legalize the drug, right? So we're starting to see more and more narrative around this topic. And I really do think that it's going to be what creates, hundreds of millions of jobs. And it's just going to create a whole new tax revenue and avenue for the economy. And I also saw here that Trust Beverage Co. 'tis the season for cannabis beverages with consideration at all-time high. New data from Trust Beverage Co., which is Molson Coors and HEXO, shows 87% of Canadians surveyed familiar with cannabis beverages, with 26% considering giving as a holiday gift this season. So a new study from Trust Beverage Co. shows that heading into the holiday season, it's the cannabis-infused beverages is an all-time high interest and consideration, with 87% of legal age Canadians now familiar with the format. So almost 90% of people familiar with the fact that there's drinks out there. I talked to my brother a couple of weeks ago, and he was just trying them for the first time. So it seems to be well known amongst the masses at this point. Gifting is high on the agenda this holiday, with 26% of adults considering giving cannabis beverages to family and friends, and nearly 1/5 intend to purchase the beverages for themselves. Trust Beverage Co., a joint venture between Molson Coors Canada and HEXO Corp., has developed one of the widest portfolios of cannabis beverages in Canada. So this is a pretty cool article, but essentially it's only been 3 months since we launched, and in the past 4 weeks, we've achieved a 34% market share nationally, with more products rolling into the market until the end of the year. Now we're seeing that Canadians of legal age are ready to shake up their holiday season and embrace cannabis-infused beverages. And these indicators is a trend that will continue to grow. So they're not seeing any signs of slowing down. So here's a cool breakdown of some statistics as well. This holiday season will be different from previous years, with gatherings and celebrations expecting to be intimate affairs, and Canadians looking to embrace the shift by integrating new rituals into their holiday routines. Data from Trust study from Canadians shows that are of legal age, 23% of respondents plan to make cannabis a bigger part of their holiday this season. Of those 23%, 36 of them plan on trying new formats of cannabis. 20% will consume less alcohol. 19% intend to purchase cannabis beverages for themselves during the holidays. And 21% of those surveyed currently consume cannabis beverages. So what you have to start asking yourself is, why would it get so smart on Molson Coors Canada? Because they're getting into the cannabis space and the cannabis infused beverage space, because people, it says right here, people are looking to consume less alcohol. They're in the alcohol business. So they're basically hedging against a healthier alternative. It has health benefits, right? Versus health, impacts. So drinking beer at, regular beer is not really that good for you, especially at large scale. So it's a way for them to offset those numbers, as people start to transition to a healthier lifestyle or healthier options. It's really smart on their part, and they obviously see a big opportunity here. So 2021 will be an exciting year for cannabis beverages, said Cooper. As the cannabis industry continues to evolve across North America, we're going to see both consumer demand and market offerings increase. So that means that we can potentially see more sales and more products hitting the market. So we should probably keep an eye out for any new products that companies are set to release, because if there's any truth to this, then we could be seeing some any day or any week now. We believe we're at the forefront of something remarkable, changing what adult beverages means to Canadians, committing to continued innovation and a robust pipeline with essential to remain ahead. Since the legalization of 2.0 products last year, everything's been welcome from consumers, both of consistency. 35% of legal age Canadians who consume cannabis beverages do so because it means they do not have to smoke. Here's their brands that they have. Super awesome, just lineup of everything for, something for everyone. But really cool article. I encourage you to check that out on your own time if you want to read that in its entirety, but that's it for the news and headlines that I had for you guys today. I know that was a mouthful, so let's check in on Bitcoin here real quick. So Bitcoin is back over 18,000, and the daily consolidation still hasn't taken place yet. So we did think that potentially yesterday with a volume climax, a daily doji indecision candle, we could potentially see some daily consolidation, but we're still holding the low of yesterday. So most important support on Coinbase is going to be $17,205. We hit a low of 17,356. And SPY, like I said, we need to break the high of today, tomorrow, first thing. And we changed the hourly trend as well. So you can see here, we had a bit of an inverse head and shoulders on the hourly as well. And we just barely formed a little bit of a bull flag and higher low on the hourly into a higher high. So we are in an hourly uptrend, but going to need to see us break the high of today first thing tomorrow, and maybe a potential setup for a gap up, but we'll have to see. We're finding resistance here at EMA 26 as well on the hourly, which we failed to close above for the previous 3 hours. So could potentially signal that we need to consolidate, form another hourly high or low, and then break through that resistance. We did have increasing bull volume, but a little bit of an indecision candle there as well, but favoring the bulls on that in that regard. So that's where we stand on SPY. QQQ, so the tech sector, similar deal. We need to break the high of today, tomorrow. We changed the hourly trend, so very similar to SPY, but we did get over the EMA 26 on the hourly, so a little bit stronger than SPY. The dollar trying to get its daily bounce going. We set a daily lower high, it looks like, with a pretty convincing pullback now. So it does look like we're going to go back to test 92.13 daily support. And we also have a low here at 92.21. So we're getting very close to that support. After that, we have 92.13, but that's pretty much all we were expecting here, was a daily lower high and a potential tightening range on the dollar because of EMA 26 being there on the daily, acting as resistance. We knew that we were quite a ways, based on the pullback, we were over 1% away from the high, the relative high. So it was favoring an equilibrium and a lower high setup anyway. So not surprising that we pulled back there today, but we want to see a 4-hour trend change to be confident that the daily higher low is set. And today we could still be forming a higher low, but bull's going to really have to show up here very, very soon. There wasn't really anything else that I wanted to go over. SMH had a good day today. So semiconductors, we saw IWM was up almost 1% as well. TAN, the solar sector ETF, up over 2%. US oil catching a bid. Gold still weak. And in the weekly chart here, you can see we're still holding that weekly descending triangle pattern, and we should find out whether or not we break this to the downside or the upside within the next couple of weeks. But definitely weak, all things considered. And given the strength in Bitcoin, it seems that investor sentiment is shifting away from gold to Bitcoin as the new age modern gold, digital gold, if you will. So daily XBI chart. Biotech ETF, a little bit of an indecision candle there on the daily, low volume, not really much going on. Didn't break the low of yesterday. Did we change the hourly trend? No, we did not. So we had a low, high, higher low, lower high, tightening range favored into tomorrow. But again, going to be watching for that hourly uptrend. We want to see all sectors change their hourly trends and confirm daily bounces are underway to have confidence that the market in general and SPY in general is going to trend up. Taking a look at the 1 hour chart on the home builders ETF XHB, we've been holding EMA 26 on the hourly rock solid, haven't closed below it since back here on November 12th. So that's a nice visual guide, and haven't changed the hourly trend there yet. So looking to do the same thing. XLE, this move's coming right off the low, not setting a higher low and higher high. So again, still just looking for a higher low and then an hourly trend change. XLF financial sector, same deal, well, I guess you could say not enough of a pullback here to confirm an hourly uptrend, in my opinion. So likely just expect a hourly lower high compared to 27.94, and then likely top out in favor an hourly equilibrium, but need that hourly trend change to be confident that the daily bounce is underway and break the high of today tomorrow. XLRE, same deal. XLV, so we noticed that XLV confirmed a daily downtrend, which I mentioned in yesterday's video, but bouncing off EMA 26 on the daily as a potential support level. We also have a gap to fill down here at 106-ish, 6-ish range. Say that 5 times fast. So we're looking to get a bounce going off EMA 26 on the daily, but again, we're going to need to confirm hourly uptrends to be confident in that. That's pretty much all I have for you guys today. That's where we stand. Tesla hit all-time highs today. Closed a little up over 2.5%. Congrats to the bulls. Tons of room now to form a daily high or low, but just keep in mind that we could drop upwards of 10 to 20% and still be in a daily uptrend. So just be ready for some volatility on all fronts, because there's a lot of emotions brewing and a lot of mixed signals and sentiment and just unknowns right now out there in the market. So it's going to be an interesting week. We saw JMIA up 18%, over 18%, Riot up over 10%, almost 15% on the day. What an awesome entry that was off the daily trend change and double bottom there essentially. The double bottom back here at 308. We had 314 and then essentially a triple bottom, but just kept walking that up. If you would have kept walking it up off those lows on the third try, didn't break it, and then boom, 100% gains for the boys and the gals. Crazy, just absolutely insane, and their earnings weren't even, terrible. So definitely came in better than expected, but beat on the EPS. So it's just been all bulls right now in the crypto space. And Riot, how did Hive do today? Taking a look at Hive. To 66, so not bad, 66 cents, but again, changed the daily trend. And from that point, it's just been all bulls. So trend is your friend. Roku up over 10% after we saw some positive news about them potentially leading the space with Amazon and Apple leading the streaming space. We saw Neo up over 10%, I think, at one point today. Nikola, Tesla, so obviously the EV sector getting a little bit of the spotlight today. That's pretty much it in terms, everything was pretty much green across the board today. We saw cannabis, a little bit of a mixed bag here. Hexo down about 0.5%. Canopy up almost 1%, Cron down 0.5%, APHA down almost 4%. So pretty mixed bag there. TrueLeaf backing off here in a 5-minute downtrend. So seeing a little bit of a mixed bag, but let's take a look at the MedMen down 7.5%, NBEV up almost 15%, TAT up 8%, BAM up almost 8%. So pretty green across the board for the most part. Taking a look at the heat map here. So yeah, everything as we expect, pretty much green across the board. That's where we stand. So hourly trend changes needed on all of our broader sectors. So if we can get those hourly trend changes and confirm the daily bounce, break the high of today, tomorrow, then we'll be confident that those daily bounces are underway. So good luck tomorrow, and thanks again for joining us on The Pursuit of Wealth. Check back tomorrow for another daily market recap. Make sure to like, subscribe, tick the bell, and you'll be notified when I go live anytime in the future. Have a great night, everyone.